I've been using AI to learn a lot of different things, from programming concepts to understanding math to understanding like what the hell is plumbing. Here are 3 lessons that I learned by being taught from AI. Lesson number 1: artificial intelligence or large language models are really fast. If you have a very large document or a book or even a YouTube video, you just get a transcript and feed it into these large language models. If you just want to understand what the material is about, AI can summarize it very quickly. If you have multiple different sources, you can summarize all of them very quickly and understand what exactly you need to learn and whether the source material is relevant or not. Furthermore, given that there's a source material, you can package it in very different ways. If you're reading a textbook or watching a video, there's only one way that author or the person trying to describe it is giving you the information. With artificial intelligence, with large language models, you can turn this information into various different things. You can package this in a way that is more relatable and understanding for you. So, for example, you can take something like a really long transcript of a lecture or just a short paragraph from a lecture, ask it like, hey, explain it to me as I'm a 5-year-old, or explain it to me as if I were an astronaut or an engineer or whatever. You can take that information and turn it into something that will be relatable and more understanding to you. It's really quite good at that. To top it all off, we can actually use the text-to-speech model, which basically means that it can basically output voice, and it almost feels like you're actually talking to someone or being tutored by a tutor. Lesson number 2: AI is smart, but a really dumb virtual study partner. So remember how it can package the information in various different ways and different things? The best thing about that is that it makes it super easy to understand different difficult materials. But here's the problem: large language models are just a predicting model. It can't relate two ideas together. When you're learning a material, there are like lots of different ideas that are being presented, and large language model can't intuitively understand how to link these two ideas together. That is some of the brain work that you would still have to do, which I find quite surprising, because it will only know how to relate this information if you ask it to or prompt it to. But if you don't even know that these two ideas can relate together, it might miss over that. And it may seem that you may have completed the material, or you may have explained the material to you completely, or even summarized it, but you don't know whether you missed something or not. And it's up to you to actually go ahead and check whether everything has been covered, all the ideas have been mentioned, and whether there's something missing or not. You can use AI for that, but then again, you are the check, you are the manual checker. It's never an automated process where you can just give it the material and just trust that everything that is in the material will be taught to you. Which brings me to lesson number 3. Large language models can't learn from you. So these models are really good at presenting the information in various different ways, or it's easier to understand, but the problem is that they can't learn for you. And I think this is one of the best things, is that when people start to try to summarize this information and they read through it, and it's a very common fallacy that they think that, oh, because I understood what this means, that means I've learned it. Understanding and learning are completely different things. Because this information is being presented to you in a very different, very novel way, it's easier to understand and learn, but the point is you still have to learn. It can't do the learning for you. And it's very easy to get fooled by something. I've had numerous times where I've summarized a document and I've spent 5 minutes going through it. I'm like, huh, that makes sense. That means I learned it. But in reality, I didn't. It's very shallow learning, and it's very easy to fall into the trap of shallow learning. You still have to learn deeply. True learning requires hard work, but with AI, where it comes in, the activation process, or the activation energy needed to initiate that process or to help facilitate that process, is becoming a lot more easier. I did an experiment where I tried to learn something that is completely out of my field. I tried to become a neuroscientist by learning a medical lecture as a programmer and use AI to help me facilitate that process. If you're curious to know what that is, stay tuned for next week and I will upload that video. So in conclusion, AI is really fast in consuming and processing information, but it can't connect different ideas together for you. Or even if it did, there's a very high likely chance that it will miss some information. So it's up to you to double check those. And because this information is being provided to you in a very nice and beautiful way that you like, it's very easy to get fooled by thinking that, hey, I've actually learned material, when you've just actually done a very shallow learning and assumed and thought to yourself that, hey, I've learned this. So here are the lessons that I learned. So that's pretty much it. Until next time.